Hello baby boys! This was supposed to be another top 10 video, but guess what? I found so many lot of overlooks in the Sims 2 that there's no way I could make just a top 10. This is, I don't know, a top 100. So let's go by hood, cause each and every single one of them have many lot overlooks. Pleasant View. One of the dumbest lot overlooks in Pleasant View would be Brandy's memories. I brought them up once or twice in this channel, and I'm doing it again, because it never made any sense in my mind how Brand Broke remembers giving birth to Bo after Skip's death, and then when the game starts, she is pregnant again by Skip. So how exactly is that possible? Is she a medium of some kind? Cause I don't know. But yeah, Bo should probably be born right before Skip died, giving some time for Brandy to get pregnant again, at least in Sims standards. And I don't know if you know this, but there are two Skips in Brandy's memories. She has memories of two versions of her husband. One version got deleted and the other is in the Broke's family tree. This is so messed up, man. Oh, and also Brandy has a teenager boy, a toddler that's about to grow up, and another baby on the way, but she's at the beginning of her adult life stage. So she having kids this old should not be a possibility unless she had them when she was a teenager. But again, this is more likely an overlook, and that's all. Another weird overlook that might not even be an overlook, but it just does not make a lot of sense for me, is how Dina, Nina, and Dawn are actually new to Pleasant View, but Nina and Dawn had their first kiss together many years ago as they were obviously teenagers, so they met before. So maybe they are not so new to Pleasant View, or maybe they moved to Pleasant View all together as part of their plan. I wonder if that's the case. Oh, and of course, how could I not mention Dina and Michael? Michael was Dina's first husband, and he died of old age, so we can assume he was much older than her. But still, Dina remembers having her first kiss with him when she was a teenager. This would have meant she was groomed by Michael Bachelor Bella's brother. However, I do believe this is just an overlook and not the intended storyline. Still, this is creepy as F. And there are more overlooks in the Caliente household. Nina is missing one memory of Dina growing up well, and Dina remembers Nina growing up badly as a positive memory. I don't get why none of these were ever fixed. But anyway, another mistake we can spot on Pleasant View is how Mary Sue Pleasant and Cassandra Goth are supposed to be childhood besties, but Mary Sue is much older. The child life stage in The Sims 2 is so short. There's no way they have this age gap between them if they've been friends since they were kids. Oh yes, and Alexander Goth remembers being taught how to speak by Bella Goth, his mom, but Mortimer also remembers teaching him how to talk. What's up with that? On one hand, I think that's actually cute, because it could mean both parents taught him a little, although this is not a possibility in the game, so this is just an overlook. In Pleasant View, each family has 5 photos of their past, so we get to explore a little bit more of what happened before the beginning of the game. That's amazing, except the Sims in these pics are not the same as the Sims in the game. Their faces actually look so different, it is giving Uncanny Valley. Dark Dreamer lost his mom when he was a child, but the Dreamer's family album shows that he was a teenager. So once more, the ages here do not make any sense. The version we can spot of Darling Dreamer in these pictures does actually exist, and it's not the same that we can spot in Dirk's family tree. There are 2 versions of Darlene in the game, and they did an okay job trying to hide the deleted version of hers, but they still kept her in the family pictures, so I don't know why.
Oh, and by the way, if you love The Sims 2 creative content, please subscribe. I have a goal of 5,000 subscribers this year, and I'm not there just yet.
Now we're gonna travel to Strange Town. Everything about this hood is strange, obviously, but one of the most weird things here is how Lola and Chloe's singles are supposed to be twins, but they do not share the same age or star sign. Maybe that's because they're aliens and this desert has its own rules. But let's face it, this is just another mistake that was never fixed. Well, actually, the ages of everybody in the Curious family do not make sense at all, and they're pretty much messed beyond repair. Jenny, Vidkan, Pascal, and Laszlo were all born after the twins, but somehow they're all older, especially Jenny. She's pretty close to becoming an elder, and the twins are pretty much in the beginning of their adult life stage. Let me remind you, Glarn was married to another woman, had the twins after getting abducted by aliens, left his at the time wife to raise alone Chloe and Lola, got remarried, and had 4 kids. So the devs messed up this timeline big time. And then Olive Spectre, our beloved serial killer. She gave birth to Nervous when she was an elder, although this is not possible in the game. However, as everybody knows, the father of her baby is the Green Reaper itself. So maybe this was done on purpose, but I'm not so sure. Maybe the Green Reaper is extra fertile and able to impregnate elder women. We don't know, that's a possibility. And then Nervous subject is also a little problematic, because when you think about it, he should be much younger if he was born when Olive was already an elder. But no, he's actually an adult and just a few days younger than Loki and Circe. He was kidnapped when he was just a little kid because the Beaker couple remembers him growing up badly 2 times. So from child to teen and from teen to adult. But the Beakers family album shows Nervous as an adult, arriving at the Beakers for what it looks like the first time. And did I mention the Nervous subject Oliver remembers giving birth to is not the same as in the one in the game? He's actually an abandoned version of Nervous, and I have no idea of why they didn't update this memory to reflect the new Nervous. This is another big oversight. Now we can move to Verona View. I know that you probably don't remember it, but Verona View is also a base game HUD, and oh my god, it is a total mess. A lot of sims are lacking basic memories in this HUD, probably due to the laziness of whoever was in charge here. And this bothers me quite a lot. As you know, I'm a memory freak, and this is one of the reasons why I don't play in Verona View at all. One big lore overlook in my personal opinion here would be the Summer Dream family. They're supposed to be fairies, and that's why Oberon and Titania have elf ears. For some reason, they didn't have biological children. Instead, they adopted Puck and Bottle. But if they are adoptive kids and not biological, why they also have elf ears? Maybe they're fairies as well and they were adopted from a magical forest? I mean, that's probably reasonable. This one gives major soap opera vibes. In the French version of the Zimisu, Cardinal Cap's bio says something not present in the English one. And will he finally get to know his daughter Hermia better? Which indicates at some point he was supposed to be Hermia Cap's father. But I guess nobody knew about that. It was like a family secret or something. Somehow they forgot to edit this part out of his French bio. And let me say this, Hermia and Cardinal do look alike, so I don't know. However, in the beginning of the game, they are not related by any means. And that sucks. I'm all about the drama. Let's go to River Blossom Hills now. This HUD is a parody of Pleasant View, and I don't like it at all. But one of the biggest mistakes that can be found here is how every single sim remembers anything bad as a positive memory, when they shouldn't, for obvious reasons. Everybody remembers deaths as a good thing. Now, if this was done on purpose, it would make a lot of sense for Olive Spectre to have death positive memories, but that's not the case. So this is how we know this was a big overlook, and it drives me crazy that this was never fixed. I don't understand why a big company like EA had no interest at all in fixing their own game. In the Viejo household, we can spot Jacob as a toddler at his mom's funeral, but in his memories, he remembers her dying when he he was a kid. This video was supposed to be a top 10, but how could I possibly pick just 10 when there are so many overlooks? Meet me at Visera Valley now. Oh my god, this is a shitty show. Whoever was in charge of this hood never played The Sims 2, and I can prove it. A lot of pre-made Sims here remember growing up from a newborn to a toddler, but this is not a memory in the game. This almost makes me think maybe there was an extra life stage in free time, but the real tea is they didn't know what they were doing. And also, Natasha Wuna is the cousin of Louise Esper. They should be somewhat close in age. We can see in Louise's memories that Natasha is much older than his son Victor, but in game she's much younger. Well, honestly, I think the biggest overlook was releasing Visera Valley. Welcome to Belladona Cove. This hood was so hushed because of Sims 3. This had a huge negative impact on Belladona Cove, although I love this hood. We can spot the very worst overlooks here. One good example would be Connor. These Sims memories are so messed up. For example, he has no memories of his mom, including her death. This could have been because she had no hand on raising him, but not exactly, because we can see her in a family pic when Connor moved out. So once more, this is not adding up. It feels like they were going for one storyline and forgot to retake this picture. On top of that, Connor has one missing grew-up memory. So in his memories, he's still a teenager. A similar case to this is happening to Gabriel Green. He's also missing one of these memories, but his case is much worse, because he remembers having his first kiss as a child. Yes, we got another one of these, but not as problematic, thank god. Kimberly is missing one memory of Samantha growing up. That's bad, but not horrible. Let me tell you, this household was cursed. Geoff's mom, Leandra, has probably the ugliest family tree in the Sims franchise. When you click on her face, this is what you get. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Channel and Dimitri were probably Leandra's parents, but somehow this happened. She was probably sad as both their daughter and their parents. Why this was never fixed? I have no idea. It's not that complicated. Chastity's grandmother is missing, but we can see by these 3 dots that a deleted sim was here before. We don't know exactly where she went, but what we do know is that her grandmother never returned. And that's it for today's video, people boys. Oh my god, so many overlooks in this amazing game. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, hype the video if possible, and I'll see you in the next one.